Hello everyone and welcome to Stand Model Array. Mark here again. Today's video is all about the wiring of the extension and all that. Yep, so I finally got all the track laid down and I've obviously started the wiring process now. Probably find this a bit boring maybe because mine's a DC layout, so it's fairly simple wiring, but I just thought I'd show you all my progress so far on how far I've got with it. So hopefully we'll be running trains or testing trains and running trains soon, but more to come on that in the next video. So in the meantime, sit back and enjoy. So here you can see we're back on the layout again, and I've actually started the wiring. Haven't done lots, but I've done some of the basic stuff. So as you might see there's a couple of wires in there. And we go around, excuse the mess, and there's obviously some dropper wires on each side of the tracks here, there, and one for the will be engine shed there. I'm hoping that that's right. I'm doing that right by putting it there, but we'll soon see when I come up to test it. But I've got to do some more wiring to do before that. Obviously my layout, as you should know by now, or if you don't, and if you're new to the channel, it's a DC layout, mainly DC because myself and my brother inherited my late father's rolling stock collection, and he had quite a bit of a rolling stock collection which was all DC, because that's how he obviously started his layout many years ago, and obviously DCC wasn't around then, and so we've stuck to it because it would just cost too much to pull the locos up for one, and two, if we did it, it means, as my brother's built himself a DC layout as well, we would be awkward to swap the rolling stock around between each. So anything I DCC chipped would only be able to run on my layout. So hence that's why I've stuck with the DC system as well. And it seems to work okay. So yeah, so I've got all those in. Now, as I might have mentioned before, and I should have told you before this, but I'm not sure, but I'll repeat it again just in case you didn't know. Obviously my layout is actually made up of 3 baseboards, and you can actually, it's sort of on a semi-permanent basis, so you can take the boards apart. So the legs are attached with bolts and wing nuts, and so are the cross braces on the legs as well. So obviously you've got a join here, hence why there's power wires both sides on this board. There's a join there. That isn't actually a join there. What it is, that's the old one of my 2 original boards which used to go to the old fiddle yard. So what I've done, I've screwed this board permanently to it, so that's not a join, that will be permanently to it. The actual join is there. So obviously you can see you've got the brake and the track there. Don't need to wire that side because it'll all be, once I've soldered the wiring back here, it will all be that'll be powered from there on this board anyway, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so to get over the gaps in the board, as I was just explaining to you, what I've done, I'm using the good old terminal connectors, or block connectors, or chocolate block connectors as they're more commonly known. They're actually just screw terminals, but yeah, most people call them chocolate blocks. So I've got a set of blocks there, and obviously at the moment only any wires I've got in them is the basic red and black for the track power. There will be more wires going into there. Obviously, as you can see, there's no wires from the turntable yet to power the track, and that's mainly because obviously the turntable track I haven't relayed yet, and I haven't put the piece in the middle what comes with it to what you wire from. So I'll explain that later on when I do that. But yeah, the main idea is to try and get the main wiring done for the main track powers to get the track running. Obviously on this side, coming out of that side, there will be So wires for each of those, so the red and the black, and then there'll be a different colour one for the what does the shed power. They'll go down to some it's called pushpin terminal blocks or chocolate blocks, and that'll obviously come down, so they'll be wired in. And then, if you excuse the dodgy camera work, you probably can't see it. Yeah, there's a pushpin terminal block there, and it'll push into that. That also means it's easier to take the valves apart. So, excuse me, dodgy camera work. So what we do, as I say, we're going right the way around. This is obviously for the main line to the fiddle yard, and as you can possibly see in the background, just up there, there's the pushpin terminal block. And if I move along, you can see more there. So this is obviously these ones here. Excuse me, fingers, sorry it's a bit dark, but those ones there, that they all power. They're all the drop wires, I should say, from the track work to the and point work to the new station. Well, it's the tracks into the new station. So there's the run round the route, the main platform line, and the good siding. Trying to keep it steady. I don't know if I can show you, but yeah, as you can see, so they're chocolate block pushpin terminals. So pull in, push in and pull out, just as easy like that. If I push it back in, you have to excuse me because I'm trying to do this while I hold the camera. They do normally go easier than this. That's it. There you go. You just try to do it at an awkward angle. So yeah, so it's all done like that. If we just move along, excuse the dodgy camera work again. As you can see, obviously that's the other side. So you've got the dropper wires coming down there. They go into the terminal blocks there, and obviously out of there, and obviously into the connectors there. So the main reason for doing that as well is because it's designed, it's semi-permanent, it's mainly set up permanent. It's done so that I could also, if I want to, kill the power to any of the tracks what the dropper wires come down from. So that makes it a bit easier than wiring a load more switches. Although I have got some isolator switches to wire in, but I'll explain about that in the next part when I get to it. But yeah, so that's the main reason to do that. So it also makes it easy to plug in and out for if I do ever want to take the boards apart, which isn't very often. It's only been a couple of times so far I've been working on them. But yeah, it just makes it easy use, and also, as I say, there's the advantage of cut power to any of those tracks if I want to. Right, so moving along a bit further still, as you can see, I've now got track down on the extension flap, and it's also now fully wired up. So obviously I've got power feeds and two longer tracks there to obviously go through to the flap. Obviously you've got the two power feeds on the flap there, and also the wires here, they're isolators, so each one's of the sidings isolated. They're all wired in there as well. Unfortunately my soldering is not the best, not the neatest, but it's not so bad in the fiddle yard. You can get away with it a bit more. So that's all wired up. I'll show you quickly if I put the flap up. As you can see, I've done similar to what I showed you in the previous bit. So the wire's obviously down into a terminal block or chocolate block, whichever you want to call it, clipped with some pico cable clips, or tidies I should say, and obviously then going down, and then when we go underneath, as you can see the back there, into the chocolate blocks or terminal blocks, as a proper name, with pins in and then connected in under the ball from there, so they're all joined in. And if we move along, obviously drilled a hole through the support there, and all the isolating wires to the isolating, or the wires to the isolating switches, they're all labelled up. That was with a new label maker, which I've just brought, a brother one. That was from using part of the gift card from one of my oldest stepdaughters. Thank you very much. That was an Amazon gift card, and I had some money left over from what my brother gave me for my birthday as well. So thank you, Dave, for that. Part of that has been funded for that as well. So as you can see, I've labelled up the cables at that end, and we can see at that end as well. So I know what they are, easy to identify. And then if we come out, yep, as you can see along here, I've built a control panel and a mimic panel and a controller holder. So there will go the mimic panel. The top of that is cut out, but I haven't actually done any more work on that. I'll explain that in another part. And then obviously we got the fiddle yard one there, and this controls the fiddle bar, so obviously the wires will go to these switches here, and they're all labelled up with the new label maker, so I know what they are. That's to try and make it look a bit neater and tidier. So yeah, that's the progress on there. Right, so moving along again, more progress has been made. As you can see, the fiddle yard isolating control panel is now fully labelled up with the labels from the label maker, and also the switches have got their toggle top switches covers back on them. In this case I've used to put the green ones back on. So we've got all that done, and as you can see, got another Gauge Master Combi controller. This is going to be the main controller obviously for this side of the layout, this new extension board, but I can also control it from the original controller. That's all wired in as well now, and obviously the wires again I've labelled underneath, so that's all done. All the track is now soldered up as well, so got a power feed in there so that I obviously can get into the siding up there, that one, which is will be for mainly the engine shed siding. Obviously the main tracks are all soldered in. The holder fit in there. I think that was from a screw or something, and even ended up going through, but yeah, that'll have to be filled, that one there will have to be filled in and painted back over. We've also obviously got a power feed in there as well from the controller, so I can power the branch line and move stuff around on it. And obviously the main track is wired back in as well. So you've got a logo there which I've been testing with. This is a schools class. You can see some extra wiring there as well. That is goes to the changeover switch, which I'll just show you if you bear with me. So we moved over to the original side of the layout. Obviously what I've done, I replaced this piece of ply here with a new, well, this is a replacement for the old one, it's a new piece, so obviously it's got the isolator switches for the sidings, the goods sidings in the goods yard for Stoneover station, and obviously you've got the gate switch there, and that's why they're the yellow for the isolators and green for the gate switch. That one there obviously does the dairy stroke creamery. Although this has got a toggle topper on it, yeah, that's the new changeover switch, so I can switch over between the controllers, i.e. the original Stoneover one and the new one on the other side, and try and make it a bit easier for things for me to operate easier. And I'll quickly, if I dive down quickly, I'll just show you them. Obviously I've got the wirings all underneath. So again, use the pin terminals in the terminal connectors and pin block ones, so it's all can be pulled out and wired in, plug back in easy, sorry. And as you can see, I've got labels hanging down. Most of the wiring, what needs to be labelled up, is now been labelled up as well, so it makes it a bit easier to trace over there. And obviously I've labelled it over here as well. You can't quite see behind here, but when you go along here up back against the framework, we're going into the isolator switch is a changeover switch, and obviously one goes to the controller, so that's all wired up to make it easier for me to use. So we're back up on the layout again. Now I'll keep this brief, but just to explain, I had some problems when I started testing the track work, and then stuff not working as it should. This is basically, after a lot of head scratching and talking to my brother, I've discovered that it's to do with the unifrog points, which I obviously originally had. Well, I still have one there, and there was one there. It was causing problems because obviously the unifrog points, as they come from Pico and out of the factory and in the packet, they're wired straight up to be fully live for DCC. Obviously that's no good to me because I run my layout on DC. So I've got to overcome that problem. So what I temporarily have done at the moment is put an set track insel frog curve point in here, which is the same size as a unifrog one. It now works as it should, basically. The problem I've got, apart from the fact is that the spring has gone in the point there, so it flaps about. That's no good to me because obviously I plan to use solenoid point motors to power the points, changing them. You know, I can do it by hand, but I'm going to do it so that I can change them with the point motor. This is, as I say, solved the problem, but that spring is going to cause a problem with the point motors because obviously I'm not using some action ones. The solenoid motors are not designed for that, so I need to. I have got a new one. I need to change it over, but I also want to do an experiment with the unifrog point I had in here, which I'll explain in another video because I don't want to keep this video too long or make it go for longer than what it probably already is, so I'll explain it in there. Well, I do hope you found that video of interest. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Remember, it's free to subscribe to channels on YouTube, and share with all your friends. I'd like to obviously get some more viewers, and don't obviously forget to leave your comments below, good or bad, as long as they're constructive. I don't mind. And hopefully I'll see you all soon with the next part of the wiring and the layout and another video. Bye for now.